Stray. Stray is one of those games you didn't know you needed until you're in the middle of it, getting lost in its world, and suddenly you're fully invested in the life of a stray cat. The vibe is very much feline meets futuristic city, and it pulls you in right from the start. You're not just playing a cat, you're living as one, jumping on ledges, squeezing through tight spaces, scratching things because why not, and meowing at anything and everything. It's the little things that make it so charming. You can nudge objects, pounce around, and just explore this world at your own pace. One of the coolest features is your cat's sidekick, B12, a drone that helps with, well, everything else. Think of it like your trusty sidekick on your adventure, translating robot languages, opening doors, and even helping you out in tight situations. It's kind of like having a wingman, but, in robot form. They really make a great team, and without B12, you might find yourself a little lost. But no worries, it's all part of the journey. You'll get plenty of chances to do some classic puzzle solving, like figuring out how to open a door or avoid getting swarmed by the creepy-crawly creatures that are out to get you. It's a mix of agility and a little brain power, and it keeps you on your toes. The best part? You're a cat, and you get to do cat stuff, jumping, running, climbing, basically everything you've always wanted to do in a game without being limited by real-life cat behavior. Rise of the Tomb Raider. Exploring ancient ruins, scaling dangerous cliffs, and uncovering lost secrets never gets old, especially when every corner of the world is packed with clever little surprises. Whether it's stumbling across hidden challenges or figuring out how to open long-forgotten tombs, there's always something waiting to pull you off the main path and reward your curiosity. The way movement and exploration blend together makes every climb and jump feel like part of a bigger puzzle. Each new area seems to encourage stopping, looking around, and planning the best way forward. Whether it's clinging to icy ledges, swinging across gaps, or sneaking through dense forests, the sense of freedom always shines through. Combat feels sharp and fluid, and there's a really satisfying rhythm to switching between stealth, traps, and full-on action. One moment you're creeping through tall grass, setting up the perfect takedown, and the next you're crafting explosives mid-fight to tip the odds in your favor. It's the kind of gameplay that rewards players for thinking a few steps ahead, but never punishes anyone for going in guns blazing. The crafting system adds another layer of fun to the whole experience. Gathering resources from the environment, upgrading gear, and fine-tuning your tools make every scavenged item feel like it has real purpose. Whether it's building new equipment or unlocking new abilities, Resident Evil 4 Remake is the game that takes everything we loved about the original and cranks it up to 11. It's survival horror with a fresh twist, packed with all the tension, action, and brain-bending puzzles we crave. If you played the original, this feels like that, but smoother, faster, and maybe even a little scarier. If you're new to it, this is a solid introduction to the world of Resident Evil, mixing intense gameplay with enough adrenaline to keep you hooked for hours. The gameplay really shines in this remake. It's all about surviving against hordes of creepy enemies, and honestly, it's never been more fun. They kept the classic third-person shooting mechanics, but made sure you can move and shoot at the same time, which, let's be real, was a big improvement. The knife fights are just next level, and there's this cool parry system where you can block incoming attacks with your trusty knife and turn it into an attack of your own. That makes everything feel way more fluid and satisfying. Plus, every enemy encounter is a mix of strategy and skill. It's not just about blasting away. Sometimes you need to think ahead, plan your ammo, and make use of whatever you have nearby. One of the big things this game brings back is the inventory system, which sounds boring, but it's actually kind of addictive. You have a case, and you've got to manage it just right. It's all about fitting in as much loot as possible. Days Gone is a thrilling ride through a post-apocalyptic world filled with freakers, crafting, and the open road. Imagine cruising through a beautiful, vast landscape, where each twist and turn reveals something new and exciting. It's all about exploring this stunning world while surviving the chaos around you. Picture this. You're out there, hopping on your motorcycle, feeling the wind rush past you as you traverse forests, mountains, and abandoned towns. The feeling of freedom is exhilarating. You can customize your bike, making it uniquely yours. Fuel management becomes a mini-game of its own as you hunt for gas stations and resources. The thrill of finding that last drop of fuel just before heading into danger is an adrenaline rush. The gameplay mixes action and strategy beautifully. You're not just running and gunning, you need to think on your feet. There are hordes of freakers out there, and they don't play nice. When the sun goes down, things get even more intense. You might want to sneak around or set traps instead of going in guns blazing. That feeling of planning and executing the perfect ambush is incredibly satisfying. Crafting is another fun layer to dive into. Scavenging for materials becomes second nature as you create weapons, traps, and other survival gear. It's a constant balance of resource management that keeps you on your toes. Each encounter feels fresh, and the variety of weapons at your disposal allows for creative ways to take down foes. Just Cause 4. Just Cause 4 is all about fun chaos and pure adrenaline, set in the vast open world of Solus. The map is huge, and it's packed with all kinds of environments, from lush jungles to dry deserts and snowy mountains. No matter where you are, there's always something exciting to do. Whether you're gliding through the air on your wingsuit or blowing up a bunch of tanks with your grappling hook, you're in for a wild time. The main thing about this game is the sheer freedom it gives you. It's like a playground for destruction. Need to get across the map quickly? Just grab your wingsuit and soar through the air. Want to cause a little mayhem? Use your grappling hook to attach rockets to cars, or maybe just yank a helicopter out of the sky and take it for a spin. And if you're feeling particularly extra, there are tornadoes and sandstorms to shake things up, making everything more unpredictable and fun. The whole point is to do things your way. You can go full-on stealth and take down enemies quietly, or you can go loud and blow everything up with some seriously wild weapons. Speaking of weapons, the game offers a ton of cool stuff to play with. Some of the guns are pretty straightforward, but others are straight up wacky, like the wind gun that lets you control the air or the lightning gun that zaps everything in sight. No matter what you're using, it's all about making the chaos as fun and stylish as possible. Skyrim, a game where you can pretty much do whatever you want. Want to fight dragons, explore vast forests, or maybe become a master thief? No one's stopping you. This is one of those games that drops you into a massive world and says, go ahead, make it your own. First off, the scale of this place is insane. It's a huge open world that feels alive, with mountains to climb, caves to explore, and cities that are bursting with people and sometimes dragons. You can literally walk for hours and find something new around every corner. Whether it's a hidden dungeon, a random person needing help, or a creature just looking for a fight. That sense of freedom is one of the best parts, honestly. You're not restricted to a set path. You could wake up one day and think, I'm going to hunt down some dragons. And the game's like, sure, go for it. Or you can wander around and find a guild to join, like the Thieves Guild or the Dark Brotherhood. There's always something to dive into. Combat? Oh, it's solid. Whether you're slinging magic spells, swinging swords, or sneaking around with a bow, it's pretty satisfying. Every time you level up a skill, you feel a real difference. Want to be a stealthy assassin? Go for it. Or do you prefer charging in with a battle axe? Totally an option. There's no one way to play, and that's the beauty of it. Build your character however you want, and the game adapts. A Plague Tale: Innocence is a hidden gem in the world of action-adventure games, and it's got some serious heart. The game drops you into the middle of a super intense, plague-filled 14th century France. But it's not just about the setting, it's about Amicia and her little brother, Hugo, as they try to survive the chaos. The sibling dynamic? It's honestly one of the most touching things you'll see in a game. You're not out here swinging swords around or casting spells, though. This is all about stealth, strategy, and surviving a world that's out to get you. Picture this Amicia, with a slingshot in hand, sneaking around trying to avoid enemies who are about as deadly as the environment itself. The game's stealth mechanics are on point. Taking out enemies isn't always the go-to, and sometimes it's just about staying out of sight. And let's talk about those rats. There are thousands of them at a time, and they're not just there to look creepy. They're actually a big part of the gameplay. They're your biggest threat, but also your best tool for solving puzzles. Imagine needing to clear a path by luring them to one spot while you dash through another. It's intense, but so satisfying when it all clicks together. Crafting plays a huge role too. Instead of the usual inventory system where you're just picking up random loot, here you're gathering materials to make items that help you stay alive. Want to distract guards? You've got sulfur stones for that. Watch Dogs 2. Imagine stepping into a digital playground where the world is full of possibilities and you've got the tools to mess with just about anything. That's exactly what you're in for with Watch Dogs 2. You're not just running around, solving puzzles, or fighting enemies. You're actually hacking into the city around you and using it to your advantage. Everything from traffic lights to drones to ATM machines becomes part of your arsenal. It's like being a secret agent, but instead of physical combat, your weapon is pure tech-savvy chaos. One of the coolest things is how open-ended it is. Sure, you can go in guns blazing if you're feeling that vibe, but you can also get super stealthy and hack your way through problems. The whole game is designed so you can approach things however you like. If you want to take down a security system, you can do it from behind a screen, making everything crash, or sneak around using your tech gadgets. The drone alone? Seriously fun to fly around for scouting out the area. It's all about getting creative with how you tackle missions, and there are always multiple ways to get the job done. Speaking of gadgets, the choices here are so satisfying. You've got your trusty little remote-controlled car, which is surprisingly fun to drive around, and the quadcopter drone lets you scope out the place from above. It's like you're planning heists, but with none of the stress and all of the fun. The variety in gadgets adds a layer of strategic thinking. You're constantly thinking, what's the best way to do this? And it's like a puzzle you get to solve. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy is an action-packed, narrative-driven experience that will have you feeling like part of the team from the very first moment. If you're into fun, dynamic gameplay with a sprinkle of chaos, this one's got you covered. From the get-go, you're in for a wild ride, playing as Star-Lord. But don't worry, you're not going solo here. The Guardians are right there with you, and they're just as important as your own character. Combat is a blast. Literally. You'll get to lead your team in intense battles, but instead of micromanaging everyone, you're mostly calling the shots and using their abilities at the right moments. It's all about timing, using your team's powers, and staying on your toes. You'll also get to explore some really cool environments, which is a nice change of pace from the usual corridor-style design. There's a lot of freedom to roam, and even if it's not totally open world, there's plenty of hidden things to find, making each mission feel rewarding. You never know what might be waiting around the corner. Plus, you'll come across moments where you're not fighting, just chatting with the crew, and those interactions are a major highlight. The characters really come to life with some witty banter and heartfelt moments. You can tell there's a lot of care put into how they're written and how they all interact, which just makes the adventure feel more personal. The combat's definitely satisfying, especially once you start getting the hang of using everyone's abilities. Demon's Souls is a game that does not mess around. If you're looking for a game that tests your patience, your reflexes, and your willingness to face the toughest of challenges head-on, then this is it. From the moment you start, the game throws you into a world where every step, every corner, and every enemy can be your last. But here's the catch. It's also ridiculously rewarding when you finally conquer that impossible boss or survive a particularly nasty encounter. The combat system is where the game really shines. It's smooth, tight, and feels so satisfying. So every sword swing, every shield block, and every well-timed dodge has weight to it. You can feel the difference between the beginner's mistakes and the moments where you mastered the art of defense and counterattack. Getting the hang of parrying and blocking is key to survival, and once you nail it, the game becomes a whole new experience. It's all about learning, adapting, and improving your skills as you go. The world is a harsh one. You're constantly up against a variety of dangerous enemies, each with their own tricks and surprises. The challenge level is high, but that's what makes every victory feel so sweet. The game gives you little room for error, and that's exactly why it hooks you. It's like a puzzle that only rewards persistence, but when you get it right, it feels like a huge win. While the game can be unforgiving, there's something incredibly satisfying about making progress. Shadow of the Colossus is one of those games that feels like a journey more than just a game. It's an experience that sticks with you long after the credits roll. It's not your typical action-packed game where you're fighting wave after wave of enemies, but instead, it's about these massive, awe-inspiring encounters with giant creatures known as Colossi. Each one feels like its own little puzzle, and the sense of scale is unreal. You're literally fighting giants, and it's not just about defeating them, it's about how you do it. The game doesn't hold your hand, and that's something that makes it feel fresh. There's no constant stream of side missions or endless dialogue to distract you. It's you and the world, with only your sword, bow, and your trusty horse to help you tackle some of the most mind-bending battles. These Colossi don't just stand there waiting to be slayed, they're interactive puzzles. You have to figure out how to climb them, find their weak points, and take them down one by one. What makes this game unique is the atmosphere. The vast open world is practically empty, and that silence really lets you soak in the enormity of everything around you. The landscape itself feels alive, like each area is an epic stage for the battles ahead. And let's not forget Aggro, the horse that's more than just a mode of transportation. Aggro is your companion throughout the journey, helping you navigate the massive environment, and it's amazing how much personality you can feel from such a simple interaction. Detroit Become Human drops you into a world where androids are part of everyday life, doing everything from housework to complex jobs, and you get to control 3 different androids, each with their own journey. The cool thing is, these aren't your typical robot characters. They start asking big questions like, what does it mean to be human? And what happens when you realize you can make your own choices? Right off the bat, this game lets you dive deep into choices that matter. The flowchart system gives you a clear picture of how your decisions impact the world. And let's just say there are a lot of ways things can go down. From tiny decisions to huge game changers, it's one of those experiences where every choice feels like it counts. It makes replaying the game so much fun, especially when you want to see what happens when you take a different route. Each of the 3 main characters brings something fresh to the table. You've got Kara, the android, who's all about protecting a little girl, Marcus, the rebel who's leading a revolution for android rights, and Connor, the super slick android cop who's trying to track down deviant androids. They all face different challenges, but they're united by the quest for freedom and self-awareness. And honestly, seeing how each of them evolves over time is fascinating, especially since you're the one steering their fates. What's cool is that the game doesn't just focus on action-packed moments, though they're definitely in there. Mass Effect Legendary Edition. This one is all about that spacefaring, galaxy-hopping, decision-making adventure that knows how to hit every sci-fi sweet spot. It's not just a game, it's 3 full games bundled into one giant, choice-driven journey where every decision matters, every conversation counts, and every action feels like it could tip the scales of the universe. What makes it really stand out is how tight and fluid the gameplay feels now. The improvements to the first title bring it in line with the others, smoothing out combat, making gunplay feel satisfying, and tightening up all the mechanics that used to feel a little creaky. It's got that modern polish now, and it makes the whole experience way easier to jump into and stay immersed in. The best part is how consistent everything is across the trilogy. The character creator has been unified, so whether you go with a custom build or stick with the default face, the look and feel carry across all 3 games. And the load of DLC packed in from the get-go just makes it feel complete. No more missing out on side missions or extra gear, everything's just there ready to dive into. Choices in this thing are wild. It's not just a one-and-done kind of deal. What you decide early on ripples through all 3 games, creating some big emotional payoffs down the line. It adds a level of weight that a lot of other games just don't have. You're not just playing, you're shaping a universe with 1,000 moving parts. Outer Wilds is one of those games that really sticks with you in the best way possible. Right from the start, it throws you into this cosmic playground where you're free to explore. There's no hand-holding here, just a ton of mysteries waiting to be solved. It's like being a kid in a massive science fiction sandbox where the rules of the universe are just slightly different from what you'd expect. The game sets you up as a young astronaut with a lot of curiosity and a trusty spaceship to explore a solar system full of surprises. The cool thing, there's no pressure to follow a specific path. You can go anywhere and learn about everything in your own time, piecing together the story at your own pace. It's an open-ended experience that really encourages you to get lost in the mystery of it all. As you explore, you'll discover new places, strange worlds, and ancient technologies, all while trying to figure out why things are the way they are. One of the standout features is the time loop mechanic, where everything resets after 22 minutes. At first, this might sound stressful, but it's surprisingly chill. You're not just racing against time, you're learning something new in each cycle. And each reset opens up new opportunities for discovery. It's a brilliant way to push you to think and adapt as you slowly piece together all the puzzle pieces of this universe. The planets you get to explore, each one has its own vibe. Some are more desolate, while others have hidden secrets that keep you on your toes, but it's not just about exploration for the sake of it. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. You ever play something that just feels good from the second you pick up the controller? This game nails that right away. The way it throws you into wild action with zero downtime is something else. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart doesn't waste a second before it starts flexing what it can do. And it's all about chaos, gadgets, and hopping through dimensions like it's no big deal. The dimensional rift mechanic is the kind of thing that could have been just a gimmick in another game, but here it's woven into the gameplay in a way that actually matters. You're yanking yourself across arenas mid-fight, blinking into new worlds, and switching up combat styles in a flash. It makes every encounter feel fast, wild, and super unpredictable. Like, you're never just standing still shooting. You're darting, dodging, switching weapons mid-air, and popping through a rift just to land behind an enemy. Speaking of weapons, this thing goes all in. Some of the guns are just straight up hilarious. You're turning enemies into plants, dropping sprinkler turrets, or launching pixelated explosives like it's the most normal thing ever. And it all works. Every weapon feels different, and switching between them mid-fight is buttery smooth. You start finding your rhythm with certain combos, and it's weirdly satisfying seeing what kind of chaos you can chain together next. The mobility is a big highlight too. Jumping, dashing, wall running, it's like every area turns into a playground for movement. Titanfall 2 is a game that grabs you right from the start, and it doesn't let go. It's all about that rush of movement and the joy of just flowing through a world with such fluidity. You're not just running around, you're wall running, double jumping, and zipping across the landscape with so much style, you'll feel like a parkour master. The way it makes you move is unlike anything else in most shooters, where speed, precision, and agility come together in the best way possible. The game does an awesome job of combining being on foot with piloting these massive, powerful titans. You're not just stuck on the ground or only in these mechs, you get to do both. You'll be tearing it up in these giant robots, unleashing huge power, but then hopping out, scaling walls, and making the most out of your pilot's crazy mobility. It's that perfect blend of big, intense battles and quick, nimble action that keeps things feeling fresh. And let's not forget about the multiplayer. It's stacked with awesome modes and features that let you feel like you're always improving. It's fast-paced, competitive, and gives you plenty of ways to stand out with your own strategies. Whether you're a fan of working in close quarters or you prefer sniping from a distance, there's always something that fits your style. Plus, the Titans are a game changer in multiplayer too, adding that extra layer of chaos that makes each match feel unique. The campaign is where things really stand out though. It's more than just a string of missions, it's a ride. Forza Horizon 5 is all about speed, freedom, and pure fun. Set in a vibrant, sprawling, open world that's a massive playground for any car enthusiast, it's a game that lets you lose yourself in high-octane adventures. Forget about just racing. This is about exploring, taking on challenges, and just having a blast behind the wheel. The whole experience feels like an endless summer road trip through diverse landscapes, from beaches to deserts and even towering mountains. You can hop into over 850 different cars, each customizable to your heart's content. Whether you're upgrading your ride for speed or giving it a unique look, there's a ton of freedom to make your car truly yours. The best part is the game constantly throws new things your way. From races to mini-games and creative custom events made by players, there's always something new around the corner to keep you hooked. The dynamic weather system is something that really sets the game apart. You can race through intense rain in one area, and a few miles down the road, you're driving under the scorching sun. That's not even to mention the seasonal changes that keep the world feeling alive and constantly changing. It's the kind of detail that keeps things fresh, no matter how many hours you've already put in. But it's not all about racing. There's Horizon Arcade and Event Lab to spice things up. Dead Space Remake. This one doesn't just wake up an old classic, it reanimates it with a new level of confidence. Every corner of the ship feels like it's out to mess with your nerves, and the tension just keeps on building. Not in an overwhelming way, but more like a steady beat that keeps you alert. And the best part? The gameplay doesn't lean too hard on nostalgia. It's smart, sharp, and reworked in a way that just makes sense today. Combat is the real star here. It's not about spraying bullets and hoping for the best. It's all about precision, reading the enemy, and reacting with the right tools. There's a genuine satisfaction in how every encounter plays out. That classic limb targeting mechanic really forces you to think in the moment. It's not flashy, it's focused, gritty, and really effective. The weapons have this cool versatility to them, and with the upgrade paths added in, there's a real sense of growth as you push forward. One of the most welcome additions is the freedom of movement and zero gravity. It's fluid, it's slick, and it opens up parts of the game in fresh, exciting ways. There's more control, more verticality, and it leads to some really memorable sequences. It's one of those things that sounds small on paper, but makes a huge difference once you get into it. What really takes the game up a notch is the way it stays unpredictable. It's not just the jump scares, it's the unpredictability in how it plays with expectations. Persona 5 is one of those games that doesn't just let you play, it completely pulls you into its world. You're thrown into the life of a high school student who's got way more on his plate than just homework and exams. The twist? You get to double as a phantom thief. Pretty wild, right? The game is all about balance. You're juggling your school life with dungeon exploration, and honestly, both parts are a blast. During the day, you're making friends, raising your stats, and making all those important decisions that make or break your social life. But as soon as night falls, it's time to put on your mask and dive into the metaverse to change hearts and bring down corrupt figures. It's like a mix of social sim and dungeon crawling, and somehow it works perfectly. What really sets the game apart is the whole relationship building aspect. You're not just running through dungeons and fighting, you're building real bonds with the people around you. Every character has a story, and the deeper you go with them, the more rewards you get. It's kind of like this rewarding cycle where you're not just leveling up your character, but your relationships too. And let's talk about the combat for a second. It's got that turn-based strategy that keeps you on your toes. You're not just button mashing your way through fights. Each move requires some thought, and figuring out enemy weaknesses and using your personas wisely is key to coming out on top. Plus, there's this cool negotiation system where you can actually talk to the enemies, trying to convince them to join your side. It's a nice touch that adds some variety to the usual battle routine. Hogwarts Legacy. If you've ever dreamed of hopping onto a broomstick and flying around Hogwarts, casting spells, and just fully living out your magical fantasy, this game is your ticket to all that and more. It's like finally getting to step into the wizarding world and make your own adventure, minus the whole I'm Harry Potter thing. You're this brand new fifth-year student, so no pressure, right? You're thrown into the thick of it, learning magic, discovering weird, ancient powers. Yep, you're special, and just trying to navigate life at one of the most iconic schools ever. The thing is, you're not just in class trying to survive some potion exams. Nah, you're out here fighting goblins, dealing with dark wizards, and solving magical mysteries. And you get to explore places like Hogsmeade, the Forbidden Forest, and even dive into the hidden corners of Hogwarts that we only dreamt about in the books and movies. Talk about freedom. What makes it so fun is the sheer freedom to explore and create your own magical story. You can attend classes, sure, but who says you can't ditch class for a little adventure? Pick your favorite house, Ravenclaw all day, no judgment, customize your character to your liking, and start learning spells that'll make you feel like you're truly mastering the magical arts. And combat? It's a blast. You get to fling spells like you're in a duel with the whole wizarding world. Mix it up with defensive charms, offensive curses, and even plants and creatures that have your back.